What is going on, everybody? This is Striker, welcoming you to Timberborn, which is a city building game based around beavers. It's much like SimCity, except you don't have a population of peoples. You have a population of beavers, which is cool because you can work on building dams and levees and lumber mills and anything that you might want to build. This game is currently in early access. I am not sponsored to play this game because, let's be honest, I'm a nobody on the internet, but no matter what, I'm going to walk you through how to kind of set yourself up for success, more or less. You know, I'm not perfect every time. I have played a couple of games here on my own, so I do have a little bit of experience playing this game. Not too many hours, though. I haven't had a ton of hours put into this game yet, but the first thing that you really want to do, at least for me, is get some path set up just so you know where you're going and what you're doing and where you're expanding. But the things that you need to worry about early on are getting food, water, and wood for your beaver population. So we're going to go ahead and slap down 2 water pumps, which will pump out this water. The cool thing about this game is it's not just everything is constantly moving and you can just do whatever you want and build a society of beavers and it's all hunky-dory, because as beavers have to worry about, you now have to worry about droughts, which right now we are in a wet season. So the water starts out here in the water source. It travels down river, all the way down river. This is a really unique map. I haven't played on this map yet, and off of the map. So we need to find out a way to basically dam off all of that water in order to keep it in here, to keep our areas green and plantable and harvestable so we can actually have some sustainable growth. Because unfortunately, you kind of die if you run out of food and water, and when you don't have food or water because of the drought, you kind of SOL. So the first thing that you want to do is get some food and water taken care of. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and get a farmhouse going so I can plant this area over here, at least in the short term. Now, do I want to just stick it right there? Because that'll get me down into the corner. I think we do that. Yeah. All right. So your beavers also work off of pathway systems. You can see it by these little lines, and the districts all have a certain reach. Now, if I wanted these builders to build something over here, they couldn't because there's no pathway over there. So if I were to build another path off of here, they can extend a little bit off of the path and get down into these berry bushes. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and get this farm going. Now, in order to build things, you know, these small water tanks, the water pumps, the farmhouse, you need wood, which is in this wood section. So you need lumberjacks, which will cut trees. And we'll just go ahead and, I guess, plop 2 of them down in here. Because even though these trees are dead, they can still be harvested for their logs. So you don't have to worry about, you know, losing out just because they're dead. These trees down here will stay alive, which is fine, but as you can see, resource logs 2, resource logs 2. So it doesn't matter, it just means that this area can't be planted on long term. And then you need to mark an area for tree cutting, which we're pretty much just going to mark everything until we build our own little area of stuff to cut down. We'll go ahead and mark off all of that and that extra tree there. Because what you want is to have sustainable growth, which is through logs and things, so you need a forester. But in order to get a forester, you have to have science, which in order to get science, you need an inventor. So there's a lot of things that kind of piggyback off of each other. So you can't just go building the craziest, coolest, fanciest stuff. And each of your beavers has needs. So hunger, thirst, sleep, those are the most basic of needs that, well, really anyone in the world or fictional world has to fulfill. But all of these other things you can fulfill over time, raising their happiness level or their well-being level, and you get bonuses for doing it. So one of those things that you probably want to focus on just about as fast as possible is getting their comfort level up, which takes housing. So you want to build them some housing so they get 25% life expectancy and 5% walking speed. So I'm going to go ahead and get ourselves set up here as well. Now we could try to wait for some of these other ones, but these double and triple lodges actually require you to have stairs to access, so we'd have to research stairs as well as these. But these regular lodges we can build. So we'll just go ahead and slap, I don't know, 3 of them on each side. I'll even do mirrored over here so it's nice and symmetrical. Bam, so that's 3, 6, 9, 18 total. We're at 11 beavers, and this faction of beavers will repopulate or reproduce using housing. The other group of beavers, the Iron Teeth, use birthing pods, but we don't have that luxury, so we have to build housing for our beavers to start, well, beavering about. The other thing I want to do for food early on is get a gatherer flag. Let's see, does that... I plop it all the way in this corner. Oh, it won't. Okay, so I'm just going to throw it, I guess, over here. Gatherer flag. That gatherer flag will come and grab all these berries for food. This farmhouse, I need to mark a spot for growing plants, which will do carrots. Just, I think I'll sprinkle it in through these bushes as well. There are other types of food, potatoes and wheat. Carrots grow the quickest. You do get nutrition off of it. Potatoes and wheat, you don't get anything intrinsically because you need to have a grill for the potatoes, which requires logs as fuel as well as another beaver to work. And then you need a gristmill and a bakery, which both take a worker, and the gristmill also requires power. So you're kind of stuck early on unless you go for some carrots. Now this area here, I don't think I'm going to be able to get carrots planted on, but all of this other darker colored stuff will be able to have carrots. So let's see, we've got ourselves set up for success, right? Lumberjacks, water pumps. We're gonna go ahead and prioritize one of those water pumps and 2 of those tanks. And then we'll prioritize the farmhouse and these little stations as well, because these stations actually don't require materials to build, but they'll need a beaver over there. We'll go ahead and also pop 4 workers into our district center of, I don't know, Beaverton? Let's go with that. Go ahead and pop 4 workers in here because these guys, outside of transporting goods, when you have this checked, they will be your builders, unless you build a building hut, which right now we don't have the materials for, because you can see right there, it takes 100 science to unlock, which we obviously don't have, and then it needs 20 logs and 10 planks, which comes from a lumber mill. So we don't have that, and you can't reproduce your own trees without a forester, so we need to start plans of some science so we can actually start researching stuff. So I think I'll just throw 2 of these down for right now. And then we can work on getting a lumber mill. Where do I want to throw this thing down? Because what I want to do, from the look of it, you can see where this river is. What I want to do is flood this whole area through here so I can build a bunch of water wheels along this water edge. And maybe even over here, depending if I can reach, and have it be like the industrial type area. So we just need to pick a spot almost kind of temporarily for our stuff to sit, because right now, power, we could put down a water wheel, but if I'm trying to flood a bunch of ground, which it looks like I'm going to need to flood multiple spaces because there's another drop down here. So I'll need to build like a 2 or 3 high dam over here, which will probably be like, I don't know, 2nd drought, 3rd drought goal. We'll need something to be able to process that. But right now, we need to get the basics done and taken care of before we worry about all of the other stuff. Oh, right. I forgot to put pathing in here. That is 100% my bad. Pathing. I'll just connect it over there. All right. So now everything should be able to connect. Buildings lack material. I know. We're getting there. It's fine. We'll get there. Now, do I want to build a temporary dam? I don't think I can. I would like to put one, in here at least, just to keep some of this water when the drought starts, because this water will disappear, and then this water will just keep flowing off of the map unless you block it with a dam, but I think we're just kind of stuck. I don't think I can really do anything about that. All right, now we don't have anyone working at the water pump, so we're going to go ahead and pull one out of our district center. And we're just waiting on our 4 children to grow as well. We've got 7 adults that are all available down here in like the employees section, basically. But children, they just kind of mosey on about eating all your damn resources. So you do start out with a little bit of food, your starting goods. We do have some berries. But that's why we have this gatherer flag to grab all of these, and then hopefully this farm to plant some carrots. So we will have sustainable water and food, and then we can start upgrading our buildings and everything later. Now, if you do place something and you go, dang, I wish I wouldn't have placed it there, you can delete it. The only problem with deleting it is you lose all the materials that went into it. So stuff that takes logs, if you're going to delete one of these housing, you're going to lose those 12 logs that went into building it in the first place, which is why you kind of want to pre-plan as best as you can until you're able to have a sustainable amount of wood, which for me personally, I just prefer going full on out for the maples, which do require the forester, but you get 8 logs from a tree. And as you can see here, these pine, you only get 2 from. And then are these birch up here? Yeah, you only get 1 from birch. So it's nice to have that big cash cow of maples to fall back on. But for right now, we're just working on our early kind of infrastructure. We've got all of our priorities done. So we're going to be working here on our farmhouse, which is good because we'll get food going as quick as possible. And right now we don't know when the drought is going to be, but you get a 3-day warning. So we just have to wait until it kind of pops up here. We also will get a noise cue. It'll kind of tick at us. So you'll know that you're getting a drought and you can kind of pre-plan ahead. But for this first drought, I just want to make sure that we have enough to get through on our own without having to rely on having an area dammed up or anything like that, because that does take a lot of wood that we just don't really have yet. So we'll just kind of work through it one at a time. And I think I do want to get a couple of campfires down. Man, it's tough to decide where you want to put these. I guess ideally I should have put this path over one, so let's go ahead and do that. Plop another path over here, and then you can delete using this over here. Delete buildings works on path, which is weird. Otherwise, you can just click on something and individually delete it with your delete key or this little thing up here. With path, you don't lose anything, so it doesn't matter. But then we're going to have some leisure spots over here because these campfires, I'll go ahead and put these as lower priority. So everything else should be built first, but these campfires will fulfill social life. And if we can click on one of these beavers, we can click on one of these beavers, you'll see that social life will give you 50% fertility because we want to build a nice core of beavers that will be able to sustain us through all of the droughts and everything as we build more and more and build a bigger group of beavers. Which what I've found to be a pretty realistic number and a goal is about 50 to 60. That's enough to get everything taken care of because the goal, in my opinion, is to have a fully happy, well-being population. So every single one of these completely filled out for every single member of your community, which takes about 50 or 60 beavers. You might need to add in a little bit more. Scrap ends up getting used later on in the game. It gets turned into metal blocks, but we don't have to worry about that right now. But these pathings, you can only go so far on them before your beavers can't go that far anymore. I mean, they can only walk so far. So sometimes you actually have to make basically a whole new town. They just call them districts. So let's say I wanted, I don't know, these scraps of trees over here eventually. I'd probably have to make another district over here that I can get a distribution post to. So there is a lot to manage, especially if you want to build like a giant, thriving 500 beaver population. As ridiculous as that would be, it would take a lot of freaking farming. But what's cool in this game too is there is actually verticality to it. So things that are marked as solid, like these lodges, you can see solid, you can actually build stuff right on top of that. So that's pretty cool. So during the night, since we only have 16 hours of working, our beavers just kind of mosey on out. Just do whatever they kind of feel like doing. We do have 10 employable beavers at the moment, and one of them is unemployed, so I'll just go ahead and plop them into the district center. I think our biggest holdup is actually wood. So let's put another lumberjack flag in, and then we'll pull one out of our district center. And that fills all your jobs. 2 out of 2, 3 out of 3, 1 out of 1, 2 out of 2, 3 out of 4. So we're looking good. We're set up. We got lodging now, which will already start increasing the lifespan of some of our beavers. I wish the older beavers would have taken that set of 14, 18, and 22-year-old beavers, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. All right, another night in progress, and we're starting to see our first signs of this is not good, and it's because we are out of food. So we are actually stuck at the moment. All right, so what we need to do, our carrots, we're waiting on them to grow. So there's nothing we can do. I'll go ahead and put this back to play. And our berry station can only hold 20 at a time, and our berry pickers can only pick berries so fast. So I think what we want to do in order to speed that up is we're going to go to storage over here. We don't need a log pile just yet. We will eventually, but for right now we don't need it. And we'll go ahead and build a warehouse. We'll just throw it in right over here, and that can hold 200 items in it, which will give us enough food to, well, enough storage space for food, because right now we really don't have anything else to store. We just have a bunch of hungry beavers looking for berries. So, I was gonna say, short term we might need to get another gatherer in here, but I think we'll be fine. We're gonna be cutting it a little bit close, but these carrots went down pretty fast. They're already at 80% for the early planted, so we should be okay. We should be able to build that food supply up pretty quick because these guys will be prioritized on harvesting. So we should have plenty of carrots until we run out of storage or our beavers eat them all. All right, down to 12, down to 10, down to 9, 7. Okay, so it looks like we are sustainable on berries, even if it is just kind of short term. All right, so we have 11 beavers right now, 3, 6, 9, 12. We do have an open slot for a child, which hasn't happened yet, which is fine. Basically, in order to have a child born, you need a hut that's like this, where there's 2 beavers of reproductive age and an empty slot. So I don't know how soon we're gonna see those beavers start popping up, but we should start seeing some kids pop up here soon. Okay, so now these guys are already busy on grabbing their carrots, which is gonna give us nutrition as well from those carrots. Life expectancy plus 30%. So between adding that and comfort, we're already looking at 55% longer life expectancy. And this is just in the first cycle. This is before our first drought even hit. So that's awesome. And I'm actually going to pause one of these water pumps and put you into the district center until we get these built. But also, these buildings do have their own storage. The farmhouse can hold 50 items. Bam, look, all of our population, 5 well-being. And I've already unlocked the Iron Teeth. Like I said, I played this game a couple of times. So the Iron Teeth are already unlocked, but it's cool. I'm using these Folktails because I think they're a little bit more interesting. They both have their quirks, but I think they're a little bit more interesting. And now, as you can see with our flags here, there's a couple of trees over here in this spot that actually aren't reachable. So once we deplete all of this and these over here, we'll need to start... well, we'll probably just delete one of these flags, but put it up here to allow our beavers to get up there. Which right now, we still look pretty okay on wood. What we need to start doing is start generating science. So we'll go ahead and pull one out of there. Because what we want to get on pretty much as soon as possible, because our play area, well, what I deem to be our play area right now, just this little like platform, it's pretty small. So we're going to run out of trees really quick without a forester. So we're going to want to get a forester down and start planting some trees pretty quick. Now, in order to do that as well... Oh, see? We've already had 2 children. So we're going to have a lot of hands. We're going to have a lot of hands. Which, 3, 6, 9, 18 total. That's a lot. That's a lot to manage for a drought, since I know for sure we're not going to have any water blocked off in order to keep water flowing. So it might be kind of tight on managing this population. But we still have some trees down here. These ones will also grow. These dead ones obviously will not reproduce. Let's go ahead and pull one out of there and do an inventor hut. Okay, good. So we've got 2 inventors going at the same time. 1 water pump. It seems to be enough to keep itself going. Now the productivity is low because it ends up carrying a lot of the water. Once this is full, it'll try to put it into here. Now this is full as well in the pump, so until a beaver drinks from something, this guy just kind of sits here and does nothing, which is fine. Right now, we don't need the extra hands on deck, so we're okay. Now, is there anything else right now that is using wood? No, which is good, which is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it here real fast, because we want to start working on a lumber mill, which I think I'll just throw right here. That should be fine. I don't think it's going to be in the way of anything. Like I said, I want to get most of my like industries down here eventually anyways, because I want to flood this whole area. But in the meantime, before I can actually get a water wheel to reach, because I can build it down here, but that power connection would just go into the ground, not into the building. We're gonna actually have to build a power wheel. And make sure when you build these that you check the arrows and stuff like that. Like, you could see this arrow comes out here, and then that little blue spot, that's where the power goes. So it's going into our lumber mill. So we can get both of those moving, or starting to move here. Extra goal. We got comfort, we got nutrition, and social life, which is good. We need pathing. So we'll go ahead and throw some path in there. And then also right there to get access to both of those. And then we will be able to start creating planks. Because like I said, one of the first things you want to unlock when you have a fairly limited supply of wood is a forester, which requires 7 planks. So we're going to have to worry about that and start getting some trees planted as quickly as possible. For right now, I just need to wait until we get the required science, the 60 science, in order to grab the forester. But we've got plenty of water, we got plenty of food, we got 16 beavers, so we got plenty of them on the way to help us out in terms of jobs they can fulfill. So I can actually just unlock that, basically. Put it at 2 out of 4 with 4 slots available, so right when the children grow up, they instantly get employed in the district center. I tend to find that to be a pretty good strategy. But now these guys can beaver on about and be a little bit happier, and can reproduce a little bit better for us, which is good, because we need to have some kind of sustainable group of beavers, because if you end up losing all your beavers, you lose the game, because they all die. I mean, there's nothing you can do. Alright, that lacks workers, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and pause that just so no one goes in there and just sits there doing nothing. Let's go ahead and already pre-plan this lumberjack flag. And I have that as a cutting area, so we're fine there. Go ahead and get someone from the district center to pop that in here. Right now it's not a big deal because we're still taking care of these trees down here. And then we have the 60 science for the forester. So I'm going to unlock it, and I think I'll just plop it like down here. I think that's fine. Go ahead and pause real quick. We'll put this at lowest priority because I don't need these logs going in here right now. That'll need to get built. We still have plenty of logs over there. So pathing. Go ahead and build a path. I think we'll just go straight down, and then we can figure out what to use this section of land for. But I think what we want to do, pre-plan out the area, basically, is just for right now at least, we're going to put all of our maples down in here. Now, since maples have 8 logs per tree, you tend not to need a huge plot of land. Like, ooh, land! You don't need, like, this whole area to be full of trees in order to give yourself sustainable wood, because you're getting 8 logs per single tree in here. And then as these pines grow and we cut them, we can plop more of these maples in here. Now, these won't be planted until you have a forester. And like I said, we're waiting on the planks. So we're just chilling. We're just hanging out. We're just waiting. And just taking it day by day and just waiting on this first drought, basically, to see if we can survive it. We should be able to. This is a lot of mouths to feed. I didn't expect them to already start having babies. I mean, I guess I kind of did it to myself by putting in campfires already to allow them to get higher social life, which makes the beaver population explode, apparently. Age 4, Dorligax. Sure, I like that. What I meant to do was click on this. Alright, so that got prioritized. Lumberjack flag, 3 out of 4. Lacks workers, so we'll just pull one out of the district center, because we're not building anything, so they're just... Well, I mean, we're building a power wheel. We're not building a massive stuff, so we don't have to worry about it. So once that is built, then we'll go ahead and reassign some of our workers. Okay, so I think we can do that now. We're still waiting on a couple of kids to grow up, but that's fine. We'll take 2 out of there. That'll automatically put 1 into here. And then we play this lumber mill. And then we try to stop it at 7 planks, because I don't want to convert all of our logs into planks if we don't need them. There we go. You hear that ticking at us. So we have 3 days. 3 days. Alright, 1 plank. We can create extra planks, I just don't want to if there's no reason. But what's nice about this lumber mill early on is it does only take 50 HP, and our power wheel generates 50 HP, which probably should be BP for beaver power instead of horsepower, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, so we're at 3. One of them is in transit. That's why it went down to 2. And now you can see we're still waiting on it. It was moved again. I don't know where it keeps moving to. I think they're just throwing them in the storage. Yeah, planks 3. And then one of them was probably down in here. But once we get that forester up, we can get our things planted maybe for a day before we have to worry about this drought kicking in and seeing if we can survive it. Because I think our next goal after this drought is over. Oh, we do have 3 unemployed beavers. I didn't even realize that because they grew up. I'll go ahead and throw an extra one into the water pump just to make sure we have this full and these both full as much as we can. And then we'll have 1 out of 1, 1 out of 1 everywhere except the district center. So we'll throw that up to 4 again. They'll autofill. And we're good to go. Oh, they actually went into there instead of the water pump. So I'll pull 1 out of there. And now they're in the water pump. Okay. What do we have over here for planks? 4? That looks like 5. 6. This one will be making it 7th. Once we get logs from up here, or someone transports a log. 7. So we can pause both of those. Someone should grab a plank and run it over to here. There he is. There he is! Bam! Alright, and now that actually did autofill, so we will get a short planting season out of this. Which is good, because these take 24 days to grow. So it takes a while, but once you get this wood, you're set up. You're set up real well. Because our next goal, with these being natural steps over here that these beavers can travel on, our next goal is to get this area levied and dammed off, so we can actually keep this full during the drought. Hopefully. Which will also flood this whole area. It'll flood this pocket, which will get rid of this debris barrier later. It'll flood these small little parts and then flood all of this area as well. Because I want to build this at least 3 high. Because this is, 1 layer, 2 layers, which would be, this is 2 layers, 3 layers. So if we go 4, we flood our whole town. So yeah, 3 layers tall. Probably just right here, right across here. Now, can I plan that out now? I think I can without having to worry about it. So we do need a levee, because that blocks water completely. And unlock it. Not enough science points. How much is that? 120, sorry. I was 3 points short. There we go. So you can try to build stuff, and you can see right there, this construction site is too far from builders, which is fine, because I don't want them focused on building this right now, so they'll just kind of ignore it. But we're going to do our first layer, which means we'll need some way to get them over to there. And then hopefully we'll have stairs, and then I can just build a second layer and then get rid of the stairs for the third, which would be a dam up on top, but we can at least plan it now, so that'll be fine. But this is the goal. This is the goal right here. That's going to be a huge, huge dam. That's going to take a lot of wood as well. These are all 12, and these are 20 for logs. So it's going to take a long, long time to get over here. But right now, as you can see, our builders can only reach to right here on this block. So they can't reach that. That's fine. That's just there, so I know that that's what we're working towards. Because we only have half a day before this drought's going to start. And we are very quickly running out of wood, which is okay for the short term. It is okay for the short term, because these will be growing, well, as long as there's water, and the water is about to disappear because the drought's starting, but we're trying our best, okay? So I want to use these logs on anything in the immediate future. Like I said, I'll need the science in order to unlock stairs. And probably a platform, and there you go. You see our stuff's gonna die out. Water's going, and it's gone. So we have just under 3 days, because you get 3 full days in order to do that. But you can see, like, these blueberries It'll die in 8.3 days, so those should be fine, and these carrots will die in 1.8, which means all of these will be super dead. Super dead. So my issue is that because I created so many damn mouths to feed, we're probably going to have a population culling of people hungry, because we're going to run out of food. We're already out of food, and we got to get through 2 full days. 2 full days with no food. And even then, all of this has to be replanted. Oh, Lord. This is a struggle. I should have just made it so that I could keep my 11 where it was at, because 17 is just so many beavers. Just so you're, I'm gonna say, just so you're not unemployed, but it doesn't really matter if we've got 4 of them in there or not. We actually just had someone else grow up. So yeah, I think they're gonna end up hungry. I don't know if they're, oh man, I don't know if we're gonna survive this. All right, we have 42 logs. We're gonna throw another farmhouse in here, and we're gonna plant carrots. We're gonna keep it in that line all the way down. So these beavers will build this as fast as possible, and then we will have 4 farmers that will get this planted as fast as possible when this drought ends. Man, we are gonna be right on the edge. We're gonna have some people die. We're gonna have some people die of hunger. But we're gonna have 4 of these, and they're gonna be prioritized on harvesting because this stuff can't be harvested anyways because it's gonna dry out and completely die. As we still have 1 full day before we end up out of this drought. We have such a good setup. We're just calling it or cutting it real close here without food. Man, this is rough. All of our carrots are dying. Nothing to do. Yeah, I know. You do have 8 logs in there though, so I'm not going to delete that. Because if I delete that, then those logs go away. And I don't want to lose those 8 logs. But we'll have 4 farmers in here to replant this as fast as possible. Died of hunger. We've already lost 1. That's okay. We can get back up to 18 as long as we can get some food. Which I just have to hope that some of these berries will grow and that these carrots will get there in time. Because without either of those, I don't think there's anything we can do to save this population. Died of hunger, died of hunger, died of hunger. We're already down to 13. Died of hunger, 12. Well, they are reproducing and making children overnight, so the children just might save us. Who was newborn? Age 2. You start with full hunger? No, but you start with some hunger. Full. The drought has ended. The water's going to come back. And we are going to need to pause this, actually. Alright, there's no reason for these lumberjack flags to be active because there's no trees. District Center, we're going to knock that down to 1. The pumps will both be active. Or do I just go 1? Berry picker, you're going to stay active. That lumberjack flag is going to get paused. Pause that. I need farmers. Where's all my population at? 2 inventors. We're going to have to sack the science. 4 farmers. Right here, look. This ground is gonna get wet. Now, get planting. Let's go. Plant, 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 plant as fast as your little beaver paws can plant. As these carrots take how many days? 3 days? 4 days. Yeah, our population's gonna die. Our population's gonna die. My only hope is that they keep having babies every night. Now that we have all of this carrot land set up, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. If we can get to the point where this stuff is grown. Where these berries start growing. 28, 52, 66, 70, 80, 3. Oh man. Well, 3 out of 8 are satisfied on hunger, so I think we had some of our berries grow. This is going to be a huge hit to our workforce. But as long as our farmers can plant before they die... Do we have a forester right now? No. We only have 5 workers. 1, 2, 3... 4... Where? Oh, gather a flag. I'm gonna pause you. Where'd you go? Farmhouse 3. I think we'll just have to pause that, because we need these trees planted. And then I'll turn the flag back on for gatherer once I see berries grow. Man, this is close. This is real close. This is gonna be a struggle, and we'll see if we can pull through. for the next episode. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this isn't a 2-video series, and I'll see you all next time.